Hey there. This is a post for outhouseopinions.com, and we're going to talk about today the 10th Amendment and how the idea that people can stand up to federal laws is blowing up. It's catching on. People are realizing we don't need the federal government's laws and regulations and oppression, the police state, all this and that. The 10th Amendment reads, "The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people." Now, it just basically means that if people in your state think that a such and such law is unconstitutional, you have a right to nullify that law in that state. And it's very important. And a lot of controversy over writing new amendments to the Constitution and this and that. It's really not needed. We just need to follow the Constitution and we can get along just fine. And that's why we're in this big mess. Because we don't follow the Constitution and we let the government tell us what to think and how to do things, when it should be the other way around. One instance is blowing up in the federal government's face is the legalization of recreational use, medical use, and so on and so forth, personal use of marijuana. Now, I wish everyone would really just look beyond marijuana and understand marijuana is illegal because of industrial hemp. Back in the day, big corporations such as the paper industry and DuPont figured out how to make plastics out of oil. So they found that hemp, industrial hemp, not marijuana, industrial hemp, you cannot get high from it. It's less than 1% of the psychoactive drug in hemp. It's a long, stemmy, woody plant. It's not like marijuana. Marijuana is the flowering kind of plant. It flowers, it's got buds, and that's where the THC exists. So anyways, back in the day, these big corporations thought that hemp was very competitive to what their products were going to be coming out with. You know, the paper industry wanted to use trees, and such and such companies owned large amounts of trees, and they wanted to use it. Well, if people found out how easy it was to use hemp to make paper and some other products, such as you can make numerous amounts of product out of hemp. Industrial textiles, paper, building materials, foods, industrial products, personal hygiene products, foods, agricultural benefits, consumer textiles, so on and so forth. There's tens of thousands of products you can make from hemp. We used to eat hemp every morning, like a shredded wheat. We used to make rope. We used to, in World War II, it was legalized to grow hemp because, the war effort. Well, it became illegal after the war, and corporations went back to their normal business. People have to understand that if hemp was legalized or nullified in their state, it would create so much freedom from corporations, and it would create wealth within that state because you're producing again. We don't produce anything anymore, and it's getting worse and worse. It starts with hemp, and then it goes to another product that they feel scared of because it ruins their competitive advantage. Hemp has a very huge competitive advantage over oil industry, paper industry, textiles, way better than cotton. And cotton ruins the soil, ruins it. You have to insert new nitrates and stuff to the ground because cotton just destroys it. Hemp, you can have up to 4 crops a year of hemp. It can grow nearly everywhere in the country. We need to step beyond the recreational medical use of marijuana and understand that hemp is where it's at. We need to legalize hemp, nullify the federal laws against hemp. And the only reason why hemp is illegal is because corporations felt, that, in order for their products to survive, they had to lobby against industrial hemp. And so they made a big propaganda machine called Reefer Madness, and they explained it as people coming across the border with marijuana, all hopped up on goofballs, all whacked out, raping white women. And this is what the propaganda machine was way back when. Allowing legislatures to make hemp illegal. And since then, every time a farmer or a state wants to, or a community wants to legalize hemp again, because everyone knows you can't get high from hemp. And who cares if people want to get high? You can smoke a whole field of hemp and not get high. And, you wouldn't get past the first tree. You'd be like smoking wood. It's just worthless. But what it can do is so much more than what these corporations are using alternatively. Like, how long does it take for a pine tree or a ponderosa to grow full length? Decades. You can grow so much hemp in 1 year and produce so much pulp to make that paper. It is just out of the question. These businesses need to go out of business because it's not viable. Hemp is viable. Other countries around the world are growing hemp, but we can't. Why is that? Because the government is protecting the corporate interests. That's all. We need to use the 10th Amendment, such as in Kentucky, where Rand Paul and worked closely with the state governor to legalize hemp, the growing of hemp. Now, the estimates right away, when this gets going, right away the estimates of employment will shoot up 90,000 in 1 year. 90,000 people get a job in the first year. After that, after we have, manufacturing, distribution, textiles, oil. Each state that does this can become independent from the crap they're selling us now. South Carolina is using the 10th Amendment, considering legislation to nullify federal ban on hemp. The state of Oregon, and I'm not sure, it's Department of Agriculture, but I'm not sure, in 2009, I'm not sure if this is for private production. I think this is more of a I think they're protecting the big corporations, and they made it legal, but they have so many restrictions that the little guy can't really do anything with it. So I don't know about this in Oregon, but things can change there. Like I said, there's a big difference between hemp and marijuana. You get high from marijuana, you create products from hemp. Products such as cars. This whole car, Lotus Eco Elise. Industrial hemp. I mean, come on. It's crazy what you can do with hemp. Rope, yarn, a bag. We used to have not cotton jeans, we used to have hemp jeans, and they lasted 10 times as long. We're crazy. We need to get a clue. Here's another one coming out this year in Canada. Good for Canada. But it doesn't help us in the United States. They can produce a whole hemp car a lot less than using steel, and it's lighter and stronger. The fibers interconnected when you make the resin is stronger and lighter than hemp, or than steel, excuse me. And the energy that it takes to make that resin is thousands times less than the energy take to make steel. So, I mean, what are we doing? Running around in circles, listening to the federal government because they're protecting their big buddies, and the DuPonts and the paper industries and the food industries and the Monsanto and all this crap they're feeding us. It's absolutely got to end. We got to wake up. And here is a little episode back in Henry Ford's day, making a plastic hemp car in 1941. Watch this guy. Look at that. Lighter than steel. That's like a hatchback, and he's blowing no dents, no scratches. I mean, are you guys crazy? I'm not crazy. And this is absolutely crazy what the federal government's doing to us. So, nullify hemp. Get on board. Do something, call somebody, whatever you got to do. Make another video. Get people aware. There's thousands of things we can do with hemp. And, it's not about smoking hemp, remember, or smoking marijuana. This is about corporations protecting their interests, making marijuana illegal, because it looks like too much like hemp. And they made marijuana illegal so they can just put industrial hemp in the same category, but you can't get high from industrial hemp. So you have to put two and two together, and it's the federal government lobbyists protecting the interests of their corporate buddies. I mean, we have to wake up. Kentucky, 90,000 jobs right off the bat, and it goes up to 300,000 after all the manufacturing, distribution, taxes. Oh God, the taxes, the state revenue. I mean, we're crazy if we don't wake up. We're destroying ourselves with all this regulation. Nullify the federal government. Remember that.